Welcome to Pop Analysis, where I think I'm doing one song and then the charts update, and I'm doing this other song that I never even heard of because it just debuted in the top 5 on the charts. Today we're going to be looking at Rockstar by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. I already made the rap analysis joke last month, didn't I?
Post Malone.
Austin Post, aka Post Malone, is an American rapper that first rose to critical acclaim when he released
White Iver song. When I started balling, I was young.
Since then, he's had a couple of more hits, the most popular of which being
Now they always say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation.
21 Savage.
21 Savage, aka Jaya bin Abraham Joseph, is another American rapper who's also had a couple of hits on the charts, such as
I'm just stunting on my ex, I'm just flexing on my ex, hold up.
And
M's in my bank account, yeah, in my bank account, yeah, in my bank account, yeah, in my bank account.
Background.
Rockstar was released September 15th, 2017. It charted this week at number 2. It is the first official single released off of his second upcoming album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys. It was originally meant to be released in June, but as we can see, it's not released yet. So hopefully it comes out soon. Both Post Malone and 21 Savage are listed as writers on the track, in addition to Olafunmibi Awoshaili and Louis Bell. Despite the complicated name, Awoshaili does not have any hits on the charts as of right now. In fact, it doesn't even look like he has any other music credits as of right now. Louis Bell, on the other hand, who is also the producer for the track, has come up with a couple of hits in his time in the music industry, such as and
Let me love you.
apparently he's a bit more EDM focused, but he does have some rap songs under his belt now as well. Joining Louis Bell is the producer known as Tank God. This is Tank God's first hit, given he has a couple of other songs as well. It's good for him, too, because he's actually pretty young. He's in college right now, I believe, so now that he has this, he can drop out and make a ton of money.
Form.
Rockstar is a hip-hop song. Rockstar is just over 3.5 minutes long. It's in G minor, in 4/4 time, and about 80 beats per minute. The track opens with a soft intro in which we hear laughing from Post Malone, and we hear the Tank God shout-out. That is then followed by Post Malone singing the first chorus.
All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rockstar.
After which, Post Malone continues and sings the first verse.
Shit was legendary through a TV out the window of the montage.
And then he goes back and does the second chorus.
Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up, name them the shot toss.
And now we have 21 Savage with verse number 2.
Hit her front or back, pulling on the tracks, and now she's screaming out no miles.
And then we have our third chorus, which is a bit different this time because 21 Savage can be heard in the background.
All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rockstar.
The song ends with actually this really weird outro.
Instruments.
So while the song may sound very full, a lot of that is just kind of effects to fill in the gaps made by the only 4 instruments that really matter.
Soft synth.
So the track actually opens with this figure from the soft synth, starting out that G and going all the way down to C with a little bit of a pause, and then jumping back up to that D just to bring it back in. It then continues into the chorus, but now it descends from the D and it doesn't do as many repeated notes. It then goes on to repeat this descending idea, but this time going up all the way to D and dropping down all the way to G.
Bass.
I swear, it gets more aggressive every time we do this. So the first bass figure has this repeated G, then jumps up to a short repeated B flat, before for the remaining 2 measures it just repeats E flat a bunch. It then repeats the phrase, but it complicates the rhythm a bit more before dropping all the way down to that low B flat and creeping up to the E flat. It then repeats what we heard in the first bass, but it makes it a bit more complicated doing these 16th note stutters as opposed to these 8th note ones.
Distorted synth.
So this synth actually kind of sounds like a distorted guitar, which is why I named it as such. Regardless, it goes D, then A, pauses for a little bit before doing this D up to G figure at the second phrase.
Hard synth.
This synth actually only happens during 21's verse. It has this long, drawn-out E flat, then it goes down to C, then it goes down to A.
Vocals.
So the vocals are pretty simple here because there's this one figure that's introduced in the very beginning, which is then repeated for like the entire song and never changes. And we hear it at the very start of the song. This repeated B flat, that short drop to A, and then goes up to B flat just to fall down to G.
I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Post Malone's verse.
Post Malone continues with this idea, opening his chorus with it.
Switch my whip, came back in black, I'm starting saying rest in peace to Bon Scott.
He then switches it up halfway through his verse, doing all these repeated Ds, going all the way up to F very shortly before dropping down to B flat, and then quickly repeating that F to B flat figure with another B flat lead-in.
Cocaine on the table, liquor porn, don't give a damn. Dude, your girlfriend is a groupie, she just tryna get in. Saying I'm with the band.
21 Savage's verse.
21 Savage isn't as melodically focused as Post Malone, as he just raps for the beginning of each of his phrases, given at the end he does do that A going up to the B flat dropping to G figure that Post Malone did in his.
Drinking any bad bitches jumping in the pool and I ain't got on no bra.
He then transitions to just straight rapping, doing these repeated 16th notes, but always ending with those two eighths.
I ain't with the cake and how you kiss that. Your wifey say I'm looking like a whole snap.
Near the end of his verse, he does this repeated D and C figure, which always does 4 16th notes and 2 8th notes.
Living like a rock star, smash out on a cop car, sweeter than a Pop-Tart. You know you are not hard.
He repeats these until he finally closes out his verse, dropping to a B flat, C, going up to the D, then dropping down to the G.
I done made the hot chart. Remember I used to chop hard. Living like a rock star, I'm living like a rock star.
So yeah, the song's a bit simplistic, but it has some complex nuances to it. But I really like to put forth the effort to make sure you guys get a deeper understanding of your favorite pop songs, especially now that I have over 100 subscribers. Man.
I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up, man, them the shot toss.
Boy, there really are a lot of rap and R&B artists that like to talk about being rock stars, like Danny Brown's Die Like a Rock Star, Jody Badass's Amethyst Rock Star, NERD's Rock Star, Future's Rock Star, Rihanna's Rock Star 101, Chameleonaire's Rock Star, Shop Boy's Party Like a Rock Star, Soulja Boy's Rock Star.
When my homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta.